Sportin Beards, episode number 31.
31.
Yeah.
31 no more.
If it was a couple of days ago, it'd be the Chase episode.
It would be.
Yeah. Happy birthday, man.
Thank you.
It's a day after, but we didn't record yesterday.
Yeah, we didn't record yesterday. And plus, by the time most people listen to this anyways, it probably wouldn't have been my birthday anyway, too.
Right.
So.
Right.
100%. Watch this now.
Yeah. We are on YouTube. So check us out on YouTube. You can see both of our beautiful faces.
And beards.
Mostly the beards.
They're going to kick us off YouTube.
For being too manly.
Yeah, too much beard.
Yeah. Look at you. You got the cut off sleeves and everything.
Well, I got my so for my birthday I actually ordered myself the new Jordan Luka ones that just dropped. And they came in today, so I had to throw my Luka jersey on.
Yeah, there you go. Look what I'm wearing.
Ooh, I like that. That's a really good podcast. Have you listened to that one?
Once or twice, or 30 times.
Yes.
Actually, it's more than that because I've used to listen to them when I record. I don't know if you noticed, but I haven't really been doing the editing. I've just been cleaning up the audio and post.
Yeah, a little bit
lately. So a little bit less editing for me now that we've gotten a little bit better at this.
Yeah, a little smoother, and plus we don't mind having some hiccups go through the wires.
Yeah, that's not a big deal.
Makes it kind of fun.
Makes the episodes a little bit longer, but I would only cut out like maybe 2 or 3 minutes at the most.
Not a big difference.
Not really worth the hour and a half that it would take to edit it.
Nope. I'm with you there. I don't blame you. One day we'll get somebody that can edit for us.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Anybody out there that wants to edit for free, hit us up.
Yeah, want to update your portfolio and make it look all nice.
Right.
We're the perfect people for you.
So it's a Tuesday recording this week.
It is a Tuesday.
So no NFL that we're watching. No college football that we're watching.
No.
You said you had the Yankee game on. I don't have anything on right now.
I hate to admit it, but yeah, I have the Yankee game on.
Yeah,
right now,
you have the Aaron Judge game on.
I have the Aaron Judge game on. Yes, I want to see Aaron Judge do it. I did not get to see Pujols do his live.
No, I didn't either.
So I want to try and at least be able to see this one. So I've been throwing the Yankees on randomly. So, I mean, ESPN's been doing a good job of updating me when he's up to bat. So.
Right. Yeah, they send you a message every time.
Mm-hmm. And if you're signed up with all the fun stuff, then usually you can just click it and watch him.
Right.
But I just have the whole game on right now because it's in the background and we love sports. So
that's kind of the reason that we're doing this.
Yeah.
So might be a little bit shorter episode today than usual because we're gonna go bowl or play some pool or something after this. This is Tuesday. This is the day we usually go out and
bro down.
Yeah.
So we'll be getting that in. So we'll get in what we want to get in from the NFL. We do want to talk about Doyce's top 25.
Yep, got to update the top 25. I've got 5 new teams in the top 25 this week.
All right, getting some parity. That's what I like. See, this, like I talked about already in our last episode, I really enjoyed college football this weekend. This was a good. It
was fun. It was fun. It was a good weekend. Some parts not as fun as others, but for me,
definitely. Well, and for many people, from not just you. I mean, I got a buddy at work, Jonah. Shout out, big.
Yeah, I'm sure he wasn't crying kid. I'm sure he wasn't too excited about the way that turned out.
No, not very excited about it. He didn't really want to talk to me about it. So
I actually saw. So when they were doing the game, that it was so that Kansas State had one win against a top 10 team, I think was the stat, from like 1936 to 1994. One. They've beat top 10 Oklahoma 3 times in the last 4 years.
Dude, it's like those division games though. Like it's a toss up. They know each other so well.
For whatever reason, Chris Kleiman, the coach at Kansas State, like he knows how to beat Oklahoma. He just does. 3 out of 4 now.
Even when they're trying to change everything and do new stuff.
I mean, they're still the same players, a lot of them.
That's true. And it's still the same old Oklahoma. I mean, at least for now, that's what Jonah keeps saying. So
for now, yeah, it's going to take Will Venables a couple of years, I think, to get the defense to the standard that a Will Venables defense is usually at.
Brent Venables? What?
Brent, what am I doing?
I don't know.
Brent
I'm
Venables.
surprised I even caught that. I almost just went with it.
What the hell am I doing?
I don't know. Where there's a will, there's a way.
I just got off of work. I'm tired.
I feel you. You're good. No, he just keeps saying and reminding everybody that Stoops went 7-5 year one and then won the Natty the next year. So that's what he keeps saying. Now,
that would be impressive. College football is a little different now than then.
That's true. He said he doesn't necessarily think that that's going to happen per se.
There wasn't a team. There wasn't a program like Alabama or Georgia or Ohio State in 2000 the way there is now.
Yeah, it's completely changed. They're getting all the cream of the crop.
The best programs in 2000, your Miamis, your Florida States, those programs, your Nebraskas, like, for the most part, they were one great year, one so-so year, one really good year, and then a great year again. Alabama, Georgia, it's just like great year after great year after great year after great year.
Go Dogs.
So it's a different landscape in college football now.
Yeah, college football has changed a lot, and I don't know if it's gonna be able to ever go back, because it seems like there's just going to be some powerhouses that get all the good recruits, and everybody else gets the rest.
Maybe the 12-team playoff will change some of that. We'll see. Maybe it'll open the door for some other schools. Now we have Lincoln Riley and USC. That should help them get back up. I still think Texas is on the right track despite this past Saturday. I still think that Sark has them on the right track. It's just taking some time. Venables at Oklahoma.
Funny. You said Sark has them, but it sounded like you said like sarcasm.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it might be. I don't know. We'll see. But Venables at Oklahoma, I think is good. I think that's a great hire, unfortunately.
Right.
And so I don't know. Oklahoma's always good. Like, they are. Even as a Texas fan, I can admit Oklahoma, they are year in and year out. They are one of the most consistent programs in the history of college football.
Yep.
They don't have down times like Texas has been for the last 10 years. Oklahoma doesn't do that. They've had like one spell like that in their entire history.
Yeah, and I mean, even teams like Alabama have had that, and Georgia's had that. Like, You're right. OU literally is always up there. So Ohio State tends to be up there a lot too. So
Ohio State's very consistent.
Yep.
But
I didn't want to give OU all the glory.
Right. No, we don't want that. I guess just real quick before we just go balls to the wall with football. I did tally our standings for the bet. For those who weren't listening, like near the beginning of this podcast, me and Chase have a bet. We did a draft, something like the 3rd or 4th episode of the pod, something like that, where we drafted 10 MLB teams each, and whichever of us had the most of those teams we couldn't duplicate wins the bet. And the loser,
make the playoffs.
Whoever has the most teams up from their list makes the playoffs, wins the bet. And the other person has to go to a Pluckers, a B-Dubs, some kind of sports bar, wearing a jersey from the other person's team. And I tallied the results. We still have a little bit to go, but I can't lose. Chase can still force a tie, but I can't lose.
Yep. So we haven't even discussed it. Like, what do we do if we tie?
I think if we tie, we just go double or nothing for the playoffs.
Ooh. Okay. All right.
I mean, you have nothing to lose by saying let's go double or nothing.
You're right. I don't.
If we tie,
well.
Right.
True.
Like I guess technically, I think there's a like minuscule chance that you could win, but I mean it's minuscule. Like the way that you would tie is if the Orioles overtake the Mariners for the last wild card in the American League. The way that you technically could win is if the Orioles overtake the Mariners, and then I believe the Giants have to go undefeated for the rest of the season and have the Brewers and because you have the Padres. There's another team, the Phillies. The Phillies have to lose every game the rest of the season. Phillies and Brewers have to lose every game. Giants have to win every game. That's the only way you can win. And the Orioles have to jump the Mariners.
Lock it in.
So Chase is going to be wearing an Astros jersey at a sports bar near you.
I'm not looking forward to that. I was just literally like just picturing it in my head. I was like, oh man, no.
Almost threw up a little bit.
Forward to that. Yeah, a little bit. Just a little bit there. So
all right. Well, let's enough farting around. You ready?
Let's do it. Let's hear what you got.
All right. So top
25.
Thank you for that. We need an intro. Top 25. So first, the outs. The team's dropping out of my top 25. Miami, who was 16, just got their asses kicked. Florida, who was 19, can't have a 2-loss team yet. Yeah. Michigan State can't have a 2-loss team, and they got their ass kicked. UNC can't have a 2-loss team. I think it might have been UNC's first loss, but they lost to Notre Dame, which is not a good loss.
Right.
Texas, enough said. So top 25.
I would like for you to go into more detail about.
Can't have 2 losses.
Move on.
Can't have 2 losses yet. So top 25. Number 25, Kansas.
All right.
There's Aurora in the background.
Hey, Aurora.
Chase says hi. She waved hi.
Both
number 24, BYU comes back into the rankings. I had them ranked a couple of weeks ago, dropped them out. Now they're back in. Florida State makes their inaugural trip into my top 25. Undefeated. They look pretty good.
Yeah, they do actually look pretty good.
They play Wake Forest this week. That'll be a good test.
Oh, I don't know how to get it in the camera right.
Yeah, you got it. Chase has a Florida State tattoo from his dad.
Yeah, my dad's a Seminole. So
number 22 is Baylor.
The Bears.
They come back into the rankings. Again, I had dropped them out. They're back in. Minnesota goes into the top 25. Minnesota's looks really good this year. They're probably going to win the Big Ten West.
They have looked pretty damn good.
Wake Forest goes from 25 to 20 after a loss, just because I think they should have beat Clemson, and I think they're a really good team. Cincinnati goes from 23 to 19. Oregon goes from 20 to 18. NC State moves up 1 spot from 18 to 17. I kind of feel like they're too low. I probably should have them higher, but just like some of the other teams. Washington goes
a lot of good teams.
Yeah. Washington goes from 17 to 16. Ole Miss goes from 14 to 15, so they drop 1 spot. More on that. Oklahoma falls to 14 from 5. Arkansas falls to 13 from 8. Utah goes from 13 to 12. Oklahoma State goes from 12 to 11. Texas A&M goes from 15 to 10. That's the one that jumped Ole Miss. They just have a better win. Ole Miss hadn't played anybody yet.
Agreed.
USC goes from 11 to 9. Kentucky from 9 to 8. Tennessee jumps from 10 to 7 after their good win against Florida. Clemson stays at 6. Penn State jumps Clemson from 7 to 5.
All right.
And the top 4 is the same top 4 I've had for a couple of weeks now. Michigan at 4, Ohio State 3, Alabama 2, Georgia 1. I almost moved Alabama and Ohio State above Georgia, but I'm just going to keep it as is for now.
Yeah, and I mean that's what.
Sorry about the barking.
Actually, Bo just wants to get some airtime.
Yeah, Bo wants to be on the podcast.
Most rankings that are out do have basically the same top 4 as you.
Yeah, it's a pretty consensus top 4 at this point.
Right. It's going to take quite a bit for that to change, barring none of them losing for quite a while.
So, right.
But Penn State, you're still riding those Nittany Lions, man. You still like them up high.
I do. I do. I think they're a really good team.
Good. I agree.
I think they're going to beat Michigan. I do.
That's going to be fun.
So
is that this week?
No, that's not this. Right? Okay, not this week. There is a lot of really good games this week. There are a lot of really good games this week. It's going to be a fun week of college football. There's a lot of ranked matchups.
I'm so glad I decided to take a half day this week and say I'll work on Saturday. Yay!
Mistake.
Aaron Judge is up to bat.
You're gonna be one of those. Was it Southwest Airlines that does the want to get away?
I think so. Yeah.
That's gonna be you at work on Saturday.
I'll be all right. I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Just real quick, teams to watch, teams that I at least considered for the top 25: Oregon State, Pitt, Florida, UCLA, Syracuse, TCU, Iowa, Washington State, LSU, and Coastal Carolina.
All right. It was kind of funny on the way. I guess it kind of like lagged a little bit. It was like Coastal Carolina.
Well, I kind of said it a little bit slower too.
Okay, so yeah, Syracuse. That's kind of a little surprise. They do look.
They're undefeated. Undefeated Power 5. I kind of put anybody in the Power 5 that's undefeated on at least on the watch list, right? Just to keep an eye on.
Right.
I expect they won't actually get in the top 25 at any point, but
hey,
undefeated Power 5 team.
You keep winning football games. That's a good recipe.
All right. So NFL.
We had some grown men play some football.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, it
interesting
was
a
bizarre Sunday.
A lot of low scoring games.
A lot of weird scoring games.
Yeah. You're talking about like the Rockies beating the Giants 11-10. Oh, I mean, sorry, the Broncos beating the 49ers.
Yes, one of the worst
11-10
primetime games we've seen in quite some time. I mean, actually, I don't know, because there have been some bad primetime games. So
there were 17 punts. 17.
11-10. Now, somehow, some way, that is not scoregami. Do you know what scoregami is?
Yeah.
So for those of you that don't,
go ahead.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, scoregami is basically like there's someone that keeps up with, or a database that keeps up with how many times a score has ever actually happened in a football game or in an NFL game.
There's one for college too.
And so 11-10 surprisingly has happened one other time. So it is only the second time. And I believe the other time was in it is unique. It is a very rare occasion, but definitely not one you'd expect from Russell Wilson and Jimmy Garoppolo. And
no, more so Russell Wilson, but I mean, they haven't looked very good.
They haven't.
They're 2-1, but offense. They're 2-1, but they have not looked good.
No, something that I've noticed from them, mostly. So I'll go ahead and preface. Most of my football knowledge is going to be from kind of like a fantasy football standpoint.
Right.
So I have Javonte Williams, and I like Javonte Williams a lot, and they've been giving him the football a lot. So he got 15 touches in back-to-back games. However, week one, when they played pretty good, but ended up losing to Seattle at the end, he had like 8 catches. Now he's only getting like two a game. And like you gotta involve him more because he's a playmaker for him. And if Russ can and him can get on the same page, it'd be like having Marshawn Lynch again. And dude,
That's
obviously
high praise.
we know what they were able to do together. Because that Broncos team has the receivers, they have the weapons in the backfield, they have the quarterback. I don't think they have the best offensive line right now, so
No,
that's kind
he's
of
kind of running
definitely
around.
hurting. Yeah, so he's running around a little bit, but he's usually one of the best at doing that. So I think Denver snuck away with one, obviously. Um,
Yeah. I
but
mean, all
they've
you can
got
do
some
is win the
things to work
game,
on. True.
but
I mean, yeah,
there's no style points in the NFL. There is
yeah,
in
if we're
college,
later
there's not
in
in the NFL.
exactly. If we're later on and we're sitting here talking about the Broncos maybe making the playoffs, we don't remember that it was only 11-10. Well, I mean, we're probably going to remember that, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, there are
So,
some times in the NFL where you, for like an entire season, like that team's not very good. They're not very good. They keep winning, but they're not very good. And then you look up at the end of the season, they won 11 games. They're not
yeah.
very good though.
I mean, dude, exactly. It's especially this year. I mean, we only have two 3-0 teams.
Mm-hmm.
We only have one uh not winless team. We have two winless teams, but only one 0-3 team.
Which is shocking.
Exactly. So like
The
there's a lot of parity. This was the craziest offseason we've had in a long time, which I think adds to this, which is part of why you never know who's going to win week in and week out. Like I do a pick 'em
so many of
at
these
the
games are
shop now.
close too.
Yeah, and it's just ridiculous. So we'll go ahead and jump to another one. What about those Colts, dude? Like that was a huge surprise to me. I did not see that happen coming at all. I mean, I definitely know the Colts have the firepower and they do have a good offense, and I was excited to see what they did with adding Matt Ryan. But it's Kansas City.
Yeah, you don't
Like,
expect the Colts to beat the Chiefs.
no, not in today's NFL. And I mean, obviously the Colts needed one bad. So that definitely added to it a lot because I mean, technically they didn't start 0-2.
Right.
So I guess they're technically not in that category of barely teams ever making it being 0-2.
Yeah.
But
It
they
just goes
needed
to show
that
you
badly.
the turnovers are the great equalizer.
Yep.
And if you turn the ball over, it does not matter how good you are, how much better you are than the other team. If you turn the ball over, you will lose.
Yep. And that's what Kansas City did. They couldn't
So
hang on to the
they
ball.
had a fumble at like their own 7-yard line or something like that, wasn't it?
I think it was something like that. Yeah. I didn't
I
get to
don't
see a
remember.
lot of this one. I mostly just started looking late because I noticed that the Chiefs were losing and that, or not that the Chiefs were losing, that it was really
Yeah.
close and the Chiefs
The
were possibly going to lose.
the Colts it was a muff punt, I think.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
I think it was a muff punt because they got the ball at the 4-yard line and it still took them 3 plays to get in, but that's how they got the lead there at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, I mean, when you're even just looking at the win probability, it was in Kansas City's favor for the majority of the game, and then it just towards the end, the Indy just did what they needed to do. Matt Ryan did what he needed to do.
And
Jonathan Taylor still a stud. Michael Pittman Jr. They needed him back real bad, and he balled out. So I think the Colts will be fine. They had a rocky start, but I think they're going to be fine, especially beating a powerhouse like Kansas City, which
yeah.
who I also think is going to be fine.
Yeah,
Um,
it's one game. It's not a big deal.
it's one
It
of those any
it's
given
a road
Sundays.
game, so sometimes sometimes you just make mistakes and you cough up the ball and it doesn't have to mean anything.
Now, I did see Mahomes make one of the best passes of the season so far. That little sidearm that went like 30 yards to Juju, and then Juju even broke a tackle and made a hurdle, and
Yep,
that was a pretty badass play.
that's what they do.
Yep. So if they can keep that page going, then they'll be all right.
Speaking of, I guess speaking of the 0-3, how about that 0-3 team?
That's
How
got to
are
be
the
one of the best.
Raiders
That's got to be one of the
0-3?
best 0-3 teams the NFL's ever seen.
It's up there, man. So they like their 3 losses have been by a combined 13 points. It's been a 1-score game every time. Like you can't write this stuff, man. And like they go,
and then
on Sunday they go down the field, they get into the end zone, and they're just not able to convert the 2-point conversion that would have tied it.
Yeah, they actually held Tennessee scoreless in the second half.
Yeah, after being down.
Yeah, so they were in a position to win that game. They put themselves in a position to take the lead the majority of the second half. Like they had plenty of opportunities. And like you said, they did end up driving down the field. They got the touchdown at the end of the game down 8, and they had to get that 2-point conversion, and they just didn't do it.
Yep.
That's where
it's such a weird
it's so crazy how Des Bryant just fell off the face of the earth the way he did, because you give me a 2-point conversion, I'm throwing a jump ball to Des Bryant. I don't know why they don't just do that to Devontae Adams. Just throw a jump ball to him.
He's not quite as big as Des was, but
true. But
probably
still,
not
man,
quite as strong.
One, you're paying him. I mean, you're right. That's Des was really, but see, Des is only 33 years old.
Yeah, he hasn't played in the NFL in like 3 years though.
Agreed. Not really. And he has some injury problems, but still, dude, like, man, that's crazy. Anyways, I feel for the Raiders. One of my new teammates on our baseball team, he's a big Raiders fan, and dude, I did not. I mean, I think we even talked about. I made an argument for them to win the division.
Yeah, you did.
Like, so I'm really.
I think you ended
up
picking the Chargers, but
right. But I told you can make an argument for really all 4 teams, which now I'm realizing,
kind of regretting.
Broncos might not be as good as we thought, but I think the Raiders are. The Raiders are that good. They're just getting the shit into the stick right now. Again,
they're the opposite of the Broncos. I think they are a good team. I think the Raiders are a good football team, and they're going to turn it around. Now they've dug themselves such a hole that I don't know if they can get out of it and still make the playoffs. But
the good part about that right now, at least in this point in the season, there's only 2 3-0 teams, and only one of them's in the AFC. So you're not far behind, really, if you look at it like that right now.
I don't know the stats, but I'm pretty sure the stats on an 0-3 team making the playoffs is pretty low.
Oh yeah, it's got to be worse than the 0-2.
There is an extra playoff spot now, so that maybe changes the calculus a little bit. But you're still looking at going, 9-3 or 9-6 the rest of the season to even have a shot.
True. But I'll never forget. I don't remember how they started, but I know that the New York Giants team that won the Super Bowl, that took out the 18-0 Patriots, they 18-1, but they took them out when they were 18.
Right.
You know what I mean? But they
were 0-2.
They were 0-2, and they got healthy, got on a roll, made the
barely squeaked
playoffs
in
as a wild card at 9-7, and won the Super Bowl. So
it's possible.
Yeah, it's definitely still possible. They are in a
all you
really
gotta do is
division.
catch a football off your helmet and you can win it.
That's true. It did take some miracles. But no, I feel for the Raiders, because I did not. They're better than 0-3. They really are.
I agree. Like there are some teams in here that are 2-1 that I look at and say, ugh. I don't know if they're going to win another 3 games, but
Tennessee's only 1-2. But that was a battle of winless teams.
Yeah, that was a desperation game.
Yeah, exactly. They both gave it all they had, and Tennessee was able to take it out. I mean, Derrick Henry actually looked all right. He wasn't. What was it? I mean, 20
Derrick
carries,
Henry.
85 yards, and a
Yeah.
touchdown.
Yeah, he
And
was
then
fine.
he had quite a
He
few
had a couple of
catches
real good
too.
runs too. A
Didn't he
couple
have
of
some catches
like
too, if I'm not
real
mistaken?
Derrick Henry runs. I think he had a couple.
Where the fuck? Yeah, 5 catches for 58 yards. I mean, dude,
That's a lot for him.
that is a lot for him. That's clutch. I mean, they needed that. So Tennessee, I mean, they were able to get the job done. I feel like even after them beating Vegas, I still think Vegas is a better team. But
It happens.
yeah,
Speaking of better teams and 1 and 2 teams and the team that they're playing against, are the Jaguars good?
dude, the Jaguars are good. They're good. I
Like
mean,
legit good.
so Doug Peterson, he's a good coach. He
He
knows what he's
is.
doing. He's got a great young group of guys.
Yeah.
Travis Etienne, healthy, looking great. James Robinson, healthy, looking great. That is a great 1-2 punch back there.
Yeah.
You got
And
Christian Kirk playing like the guy that you spend all that
Trevor
money
Lawrence
for.
is one of the more talented quarterbacks in all of the NFL. Like he really is.
And
Raw talent.
do I dare say underrated kind of at this point? Because he's not really being talked about very much, in my opinion.
He will
And
be. He
he
will
will
be.
be
I think he was
as
so
this season goes on.
disappointing. He was so disappointing last year that I think he kind of put himself under the radar. But I mean
Right.
that whole Urban Meyer thing last year, like that was such a shit show that
That puts such a kink in his development.
yeah.
Even if you want to say how strong of a guy he is, I mean, there's no way it didn't. Like that definitely hindered him. But they are good. I like this Jaguars team, dude.
They
Now
look
I
good
will
against the
say
Chargers, who we both think is a good team.
I agree, and I will say the Chargers, they are dealing with some health issues,
Yeah,
especially Justin Herbert. Obviously, we all know how
very
it
true.
looked last Thursday when he was in that game and got hurt, and then obviously not having Keenan Allen. Now,
Yeah,
Mike
big
Williams,
loss.
Mike Williams is still that dude. I mean, he had a hell of a touchdown catch, but ended up being their only touchdown. So I think the Jaguars actually have a better defense than a lot of people are talking about. They've got some really good players over there. I mean,
They
obviously
swarm.
Trayvon Walker, first pick, right? Not messing that up, am I?
Yeah, I think that's
They're
right.
good, dude. I think they're good, man. I like them. It's going to be fun to see what they have in store. I do think that they
It's a
did get a
winnable
little lucky
division.
with. It is definitely a winnable. They're in first place right now, so definitely a winnable division. I will say though, like I said, the Chargers were hampered.
Yeah,
So
I mean that is
I don't.
fair.
It shouldn't have been a 38-10
Yeah,
game.
it's
Now,
there's hampered, and then there's 38-10.
yeah.
Losing a couple of
So
guys shouldn't cause 4 touchdown loss.
pretty key guys, and they
Pretty
did lose
key
a couple guys
guys,
on
but
defense
4
too.
touchdowns is a lot.
You're right. I do agree. So yikes, Chargers. I feel for y'all too. Maybe that division isn't as hard as we thought.
I mean, it's hard.
did they
It's a
did
hard
they all
division to
lose?
pick only because none of the teams are great.
So
Like,
Chiefs, Raiders,
oh, you're talking about that one. Oh
Chargers.
yeah, I still think it's one of the strongest divisions.
Oh no, the
I
Broncos won.
I do.
I thought they all lost for a second.
Oh no,
Almost. I mean,
like
damn, Broncos barely won.
I do still think it's a strong division. I do still think it's one of the strongest divisions in the league.
I agree. They just
It's
they had a tough break this weekend.
yeah, bit slow coming out of the gate.
Agreed. Um, dude, dude, dude. How are the Dolphins gonna beat the Bills, Doug?
So did you
Have you
did you
seen?
see some of the stats on this thing?
Yes, dude. The numbers coming out of this game are absolutely absurd. Like, how in the world did Buffalo not win that game?
Goal line
Jalen
stands and a
Jalen
couple of
Waddle
key
and Tyreek Hill again a
turnovers,
little bit.
and it. So, like, this result doesn't happen like ever. So I heard a stat, and I don't remember the exact thing, but I want to say there's 3 teams in the NFL dating back to 1940 that have ran 40 or less offensive plays and won the game. 3.
And they had 38 or 39.
They ran 39. They ran 39 plays.
So they ran 39 total plays, and Josh Allen threw 61 passes, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They ran like 90 plays.
63. 63
and they
passes.
ran like 93 plays.
So it was 90 to 39 for plays. It was 497 to 212 for yards. It was 40 minutes and 40 seconds of time of possession for Buffalo. That's 19 minutes and 20 seconds for the Dolphins. Now, part of that is that so Buffalo got the ball, drove all the way down the field, and I believe scored a touchdown on the first drive. The Dolphins go 3 and out, I think. And then Buffalo, maybe I don't know if I'm getting this wrong. Buffalo like fumbles within their own 10-yard line again, like the Chiefs thing.
We waited too long
to
record an episode.
Yeah. Dolphins score a short touchdown to make it 7-7. And then the Bills have another really long possession that gets all the way down to like I think they ended up scoring again, but it was like a 12-play drive or something like that. Like it was
ended up being Isaiah McKenzie pass, which by the way, yes, Georgia boy. I was right on that. I did double check that.
So basically Buffalo had the ball the entire first quarter, but only led 14-7 or something. I don't remember the exact numbers.
Their second score was in the second quarter.
Was it the second quarter?
Yeah. But still, they basically had the ball the majority of the entire first half. It was mostly Buffalo. And to be fair, Buffalo really should have won this game.
They had a couple of missed field goals, I think, two.
Well, let's not even talk about that. Let's talk about that last play. That last play was a hell of a play by Josh Allen to even get the ball off. But then
it was one field goal.
It was McKenzie. It was McKenzie again. He was trying to get up the field and out of bounds instead of choosing to either go straight out of bounds or just go down.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about the last drive.
Yeah, the very last play of the game when they weren't able to get the ball spiked.
Yeah, you just got to catch it and go down.
Just like Dallas. I mean, he was trying to get out of bounds, which I give him a little bit of credit for. But if you're trying to do that, you go directly to the sideline. You don't try.
Yeah, I don't care if you run backwards
at the same time. Exactly. Well, no, you got to be running forwards as you go.
You can turn. You can turn up right before you get out of bounds. But
true.
Run away from the defenders towards the out of bounds. Last second dive forward out of bounds.
Agreed.
And that stops the clock.
Or when you realize that you might not be able to make it out of bounds because there's a lot of defenders in your way, go down.
Get out.
Just go down, clock the ball. Did you see the coach flip out in the press box afterwards?
No, I didn't.
Oh man, you'll have to check that out on Twitter. I'll show you later when we're hanging out. It's like the corner cam where it's like in the corner of the coach's box. Oh, what was that?
So this is going to be. I'm sorry. We'll go back to your. You can tell me about it in just.
Well, he just flips out. He just flips out, and it's pretty funny.
Okay. So these are the numbers of plays for each of the Bills' drives in this game.
Okay.
This is insane. So first possession, 10 plays, 75-yard touchdown. 3 plays, -5 yards fumble. 14 plays, 75 yards touchdown. 7 plays, 30 yards. Somehow they got 7 plays and only went 30 yards. 8 plays, 45 yards. 20 plays, 87 yards, and ended in a field goal. 6 plays, 60 yards. 17 plays, 73 yards, ended on the goal line. And then 7 plays, 36 yards, and that was the last drive. They had a 20-play drive, a 17-play drive, and a 14-play drive in the same game.
That is nuts.
I've never seen that. 20 plays on one drive. How does that happen?
I don't know, dude. That is and when I'm looking at these numbers too, if you try to tell me that you had one side had a quarterback was 42 of 63 for 400 yards and 2 touchdowns, and the other quarterback was 13 of 18 for 186 yards and a touchdown, who do you think won the game?
Well,
you'd think it was the 400 yards. I know it's a team game. I get that. But in today's NFL,
so here's what I would think. The team with the guy that had all the passing attempts was the Jets, and it was Joe Flacco throwing the ball 60 times. And so they lost the game because they were trailing like big the whole game. Not this.
Yeah, not this. But when you're also looking at it and you see the rushing leader for Buffalo is Josh Allen with 8 carries and 47 yards.
Not great.
Which becoming a theme, which I've been saying this all along. NFL. Buffalo needs a running back. Buffalo needs a running back that can be their leading rusher. Like Devin Singletary is a good guy. I do like him, which is funny because you look at the receiving leader, and it's Devin Singletary with 9 catches for 78 yards and a touchdown. It's just weird all over the place in this game.
I think James Cook will end up being that guy for the Bills as we go down the stretch.
I do too, but it needs to happen. It needs to be. They need to get him in that role. They need.
We haven't even mentioned the greatest thing that happened in this game.
No, we haven't.
So we've had a butt
real
fumble
quick before. Oh, go ahead. We already did it. Go ahead. My bad.
We've already had a butt fumble in the NFL, but this has got to be the first ever butt blocked punt, right?
I'm just calling it the butt punt.
The butt punt.
Yeah, just to make it easy. The butt punt. Because, dude, first of all, I know a lot of people have already talked about it. Why are you trying to punt in that situation anyway? I mean, there's almost no chance you're getting it off. And at first, I didn't even think it hit the dude in the butt. I thought he just kicked it straight left.
Yeah, I mean, I get attempting a punt there, but you got to do a little something different than just a straight up punt.
Well, they got lucky because, I mean, the only other option would be to take a safety, which ended up being what they got.
Right.
But they got lucky in the fact that it didn't hit a Buffalo player or anything.
Yeah. And I get not taking the safety because, like, okay, let's say you intentionally take the safety and then you punt the ball on the free kick, and now a field goal wins the game for Buffalo. Whereas if you are able to get the punt off, then Buffalo has to go, at least 40 yards, score a touchdown to win the game, which Buffalo had shown no ability to do in the second half. They'd gotten stuffed at the goal line once. They had a goal line stand where they ended up getting to 4th down and having to punt or having to kick a field goal earlier in the game too. Like, Buffalo had been stopped at the goal line twice in that game.
True. I do want to bring up the fact that apparently it felt like 120 on the field.
Ooh.
And there were literally guys like falling out left and right. And I actually played baseball on Sunday here in Texas, and it got up to like 97. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you, we were damn near falling out left and right. So I can't even imagine trying to play football.
Yeah,
in that kind of heat. So Stephon Diggs was cramping up like crazy. I actually give him mad props for going back out there and trying to give it his all for quite a bit. Isaiah McKenzie, after that last play, he was over on the sidelines, just like literally huffing and puffing, like laying on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, they were running around for 90 plays.
Well, that's true too. That they definitely had to have some better conditioning for something like that. But it's just crazy, dude. Buffalo basically had this game won in all stat categories, if you really think about it, except for scoring.
Yeah, I think they lost the turnover battle, but that's the only other.
True. I mean,
thing.
I do want to credit Miami. Miami is 3-0 for a reason. They're a good football team. I
Yeah,
really like what they've got going on down there. They've got a
they
good defense. Their offense is spectacular. They've got stars.
yeah. They
Should
don't
Tua
hang
have
with the
gone back
Bills.
in?
They don't hang with the Bills if they're not a good team.
Exactly. Now, I don't want to get into too much of I guess it's kind of political, but Tua did not look like he probably should have gone back in that game. Did you see the hit at all? I mean,
I saw the highlights of it, and
it was just a fly back and hit the back of your head on the ground, but then he's so wobbly trying to get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's scary. As much as I love football and I love them giving it their all and trying to,
I mean, they do the automatic check, so I mean, I presumably he passed the checks.
Well, apparently they're investigating
to be able to go back into the game. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what comes out of it. I mean, that's the kind of thing that can get people fired.
Big time. Oh, like, definitely.
Legit.
Not even just fired, sponsors lost. Like it could. There's so many repercussions.
There you go. He got it, ladies and gentlemen.
Yay. Anyways, no, Miami, they're 3-0. I mean,
those two receivers are so good.
They are. And if
they're so good.
If they can get some more yardage out of their running backs, because I mean,
and the defense looked incredible against
the defense
Buffalo.
Looks really good.
To be on the field in those conditions for that long against such a high-powered offense
and still be churning. Yeah. Now it does help the defense a little bit more just because they have a little bit more of a rotation, but still, it's not easy, especially trying to keep up with. I mean, Buffalo's got some playmakers just like Miami does, so being able to keep up with them for that long, very impressive. So
yeah, that was talked that was one of the
game.
I know, but it was one of the game.
I was about to say it too. It was one of the best games of the weekend, though. It was one of my favorites. So we will go. I do want to say one more thing actually from it.
Okay, go ahead.
Mark Sanchez just tweeted, "Stay out of my lane, bro," because of the punt. I thought that was great.
But he has a sense of humor about it.
I know, right? And then speaking of a throwback, we had another throwback thing happen. We already kind of talked about this game, but I forgot to mention it. We had a quarterback step out of the back of the end zone for a safety.
Oh, yeah.
And Dan Orlovsky was basically always known for being like the only guy that done that. At least majority of people knew that he had done it. And so he actually even tweeted like freedom because he wasn't the only one anymore.
Right.
And
it's like the opposite of the 72 Dolphins.
Yeah, but the funny thing, in my opinion, about it though, it was Jimmy Garoppolo. For those of you that don't know, it was actually Jimmy. That's what it ended up being. Why we ended up having a crazy score of 11-2 or 11-10 in a football game, because there was a safety.
Yeah, I wasn't able to watch. I assumed going in that they like went for two at some point and got it, but no, that's not how.
Nope, that's not how it went. But then on Jimmy G's, excuse me, he stepped out of the back of the end zone and threw a pick six
at the same time.
At the same time.
Yeah, of course, the pick six doesn't count. But
yeah, the pick six doesn't count because you stepped out of bounds and you can't. But
we still saw it.
Yeah, they couldn't decline that in that situation. So, but that was pretty comical, man. So I just wanted to mention that too. So
yeah, 17 punts, 17.
Ridiculous.
And I know we talked about it before we started recording, but for anybody who didn't see Eli Manning, because I was watching the Mancast Monday night, the Cowboys Giants, and they had Pat McAfee on, former punter.
Oh man, I missed that.
And they, in the course of him being on and them talking and everything, they started talking about the game the night before, because it was 17 punts in an NFL game, and Eli makes just like a little sniper comment that the Broncos should have paid their punter the $235 million or whatever it is that they gave
instead of Russ.
They're giving Russell Wilson.
Oh man, that's rough.
Oh man, post retirement, I love Eli.
Oh yeah, dude. I've
post
been loving
retirement.
Eli on the yeah. I mean, Cooper's the funniest, but
So on the Manning cast at the very beginning of it, Peyton was wearing a Chad Powers shirt. For anybody that doesn't remember, Chad Powers was Eli's character that he played doing
he went
a walk
undercover to
on.
Penn State.
Yeah, doing walk on at Penn State. His name was Chad Powers. And
Great.
at one point they did they showed Peyton doing a naked bootleg against the Cowboys. And Eli's talking about is that he almost got a false start on him running to the end zone because it took so long. And Peyton mentions that Eli ran like a 5.49 40 at the walk-on thing, and Eli says, yeah, you weren't even doing that when you were playing. You got to think fast, run fast, which is something that he kept saying when he was it was great. It was awesome. I loved it.
I like it. I dig it. I love the Manning cast, dude. I'm sad I missed it. I did.
Yeah.
So I'm a huge Cowboys fan, and so I'm even more sad that I missed our game. But it was my birthday yesterday, and I actually went to the Wu-Tang Clan, Nas, Busta Rhymes concert, which was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it. I had my Parsons jersey on. I was still repping the Cowboys. We were definitely watching on our phones, but obviously couldn't really hear. So,
Right.
um, but we'll get into that game in a minute. But wait. Oh yeah, it was the Russ comment. I was like, what was that about again? So,
Yeah.
anyways,
Sorry.
so to move on to the other 3-0 team though, who looked really good, Philly. Philly
Yep.
looks really good.
Yep.
I
We
mean,
talked about it on when we did the NFC East pod. That looks like a good team, and they're playing like a good team.
yeah, I mean, I think it was actually Jerry on one of the stations here. I think it was on the Fan this morning or one of the mornings, and he talked about how winning the off season and winning the season are two completely different things. Well, Philly is looking like they're going to be able to be just fine doing both because they definitely won the off season and they're putting together a pretty good campaign so far.
Yeah, I mean, being able to flank Devontae Smith with AJ Brown,
It opened up Devontae Smith to a whole new level.
Yep.
And he's proven
and
it.
he had a really good game on
He
Sunday
did.
too.
He some would say a breakout, but he also had a really good game last week. So,
Yeah, 8 catches,
they looked really good.
169 yards, and a touchdown.
Balling. See, that's what people were expecting out of him off the get-go. Now, I mean, the NFL has proven that sometimes it takes a couple years for these receivers to actually get into the rhythm and actually get on the same page with their quarterback. And
Yeah.
now, luckily for them, Devontae has been with Jalen Hurts before.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Not that he wasn't very good last year, but look at what Jalen Waddle's doing right now.
Justin Jefferson. People didn't really know
Yeah.
what he was going to be until his second year. I mean, there's a lot of receivers that it's the second or third year where they really blossom. There's very
Right.
few first year guys, which I will go ahead and out on a limb and say, I think Drake London is going to be one of those first year guys that actually he's going to be pretty damn good by the end of the season. Drake London looks really good. I like him so far. Falcons were able to get it done against Seattle. That one wasn't too exciting, so we won't really talk too much about it. But
Yeah.
back to Philly though. I mean, when you got Jalen Hurts playing at the level that he's playing at, that was the question mark. It was like, is Jalen Hurts going to be able to be that guy? And right now,
he's playing really well.
He looks like that guy.
And that defense though,
that front 9 sacks on Carson Wentz, dude.
9 of them.
And that's a guy that is pretty elusive and usually does a good job of at least trying to get rid of the ball.
Yeah.
But
I think it was 4 in the first quarter, and it was just like, okay, game's over.
Aaron Judge is on deck. 8th inning. Anyways. No, dude. I mean, adding how am I going to blank on it? Jordan Davis to that front 7, and then you got Nakobe Dean. I mean, obviously, I love my Georgia boys.
Dude, I've said this before. Nakobe Dean was the best player on Georgia's defense last year, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very good argument.
As good as Jordan Davis was, and Jordan Davis is
Jordan Davis because
he's
Jordan
a
Davis,
mountain of a man, but
he is.
But he only played like 50% of the snaps. Nakobe Dean was there, snap in, snap out.
Yeah, and he was like the quarterback of the defense.
He was the leader and playmaker.
And now they're still together, and they're playing really well in Philly right now.
Yeah,
so
Kazir White's been really good for them.
I
say his name right?
I think so. Yeah. I think it's Kazir. I am really scared of this Eagles team, being a Cowboys fan, because they do look really good. I mean, division games are still division games, so you better
You
bring
never
it
know
when
what's
you come
going to
play
happen.
us, especially with the rush hour going on right now. But they look really good, though. I mean, I will never forget. I think it was 07 where we had like 4 or 5 teams that were like 5-0, and like a bunch of them that just. But now, like, so much parity and stuff. But like, I really want to see if Miami and Philly can keep it going. And I think it's kind of funny that it's Tua and Jalen.
Yeah,
because Tua took Jalen's job in Alabama. So it's kind of fun to see them do what they're doing unbiasedly. Because as a Cowboys fan, I hate to see Jalen doing what he's doing.
Right. No,
but got to give him props.
I'll be the first to hold my hand up. I didn't think that Jalen Hurts was going to be good in the NFL. I didn't.
Oh, you're not alone. You're not alone. There's a lot of people.
So he's making me eat my words with that. That was obviously before the pod, but I never bought into Jalen Hurts. And
it's hard not to.
He's looked really good. He's looked really
hard
good.
not to now. Yep. So we did have a battle of future Hall of Famers. Ended up actually being pretty damn boring.
Yeah, it was close.
Yeah, 14-12, another weird score in the Packers-Bucks game. Packers ended up winning. It's hard to bet against Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. To be fair to Brady,
if you're having to bet against Tom Brady.
Every one of his receivers, it feels like. Although, who thought it would be a good idea to just hand Brady like a mini Wes Welker? Who thought that was a good idea?
What do you mean, Cole Beasley?
Yeah,
I think that's a great idea for him.
No, I mean whose idea in the NFL was it to let Brady have a new short white guy to throw to?
Yeah, that was
who let that
idea.
happen? Who let that? Who do we need to fire that let that happen?
Buffalo. I mean,
because within the next couple of weeks they're gonna get on a rhythm, and it's just gonna be like 5-yard outs for the entire drive.
Yeah, and that's exactly slants. What Brady's good at, and yeah, they might even end up making a pretty good push for that. So, yeah, I'm not thrilled about that either. But like I said, I mean, yeah, there just wasn't really a lot in that game. It was pretty boring.
No,
Allen Lazard actually looked all right. Romeo Doubs is actually looking pretty good for the Packers, but there wasn't a lot of fun in that one. So, and then Baker was able to actually get a win against New Orleans. That one was pretty boring as well. Someone please tell me where in the world is DJ Moore, because he cannot seem to do a damn thing on the football field right now with that team.
I mean, it's not like Baker's really played that well this year.
No, he can't get him the ball. He can't get his receivers the ball right
Baker,
now.
Baker was 12 of 25. Baker 12 of 25. Ugh, that's bad. That's like Justin Fields, but with more
DJ
attempts.
Moore was like 2 of like 10 or something like that, and it's like, that probably ain't all on him when it's a guy like that. So yeah, damn. Judge 3 walks. He just got walked again. Yeah, I mean, obviously he's waiting for that pitch, but obviously the pitchers don't want to give him that pitch.
Yeah, I wouldn't throw him a strike.
You don't want to be the guy on the other end of history?
No, I wouldn't throw him a strike.
No, I mean, I kind of feel you.
I guess the one game
4 walks. Oh my gosh, it's his second career 4-walk game.
So I guess the one game we didn't talk about at all yet, and we can basically just say that Lamar Jackson is absolutely incredible, and then move
MVP.
on.
MVP, dude. I mean, he's putting up MVP numbers. Like,
it took him 3 weeks, but he finally got me a fantasy win.
He's been helping me out the whole time. I mean, that means you missed. Oh wait, no, we've got a little bit of funky scoring in that league that I have him in, but I had 50 points from him and almost lost still.
Damn.
But no, Lamar Jackson is putting up MVP numbers. He is playing ridiculous. I mean, New England doesn't necessarily look great, but it's still Bill Belichick over there.
Yeah.
It's still New England. It's still a good football team. And
I missed what happened with Mac Jones. I saw that he got hurt, but I missed what actually happened there.
So
and I haven't seen an update.
It was towards the end. The update is that it's a pretty severe high ankle sprain, but no break.
That's
so
good.
he is most likely going to be out for a little while. But they haven't given us a timetable yet. So
6 to 8 weeks, probably.
Yeah, probably something like that. Which
those,
I have
those really nasty ones, they take a while.
I have Dak and Mac in our dynasty.
Oh man, I have Matt Ryan. If you want to trade for him,
I might have to. I'm looking around. I really am.
Yeah.
Because
did you see that stupid ass trade that came through today?
Yes, Darren was so excited about it. He's sleeping right now because he works overnights, right?
He's dreaming
probably upstairs right now, just dreaming about it. Yeah. He got Justin Jefferson for
Travis Etienne,
Drake London, and first and a second.
Yeah, first this year, second next year, I think.
Honestly, I feel like that's pretty fair. In Dynasty, I think Etienne and Drake London are both going to be pretty damn fucking good in Dynasty.
Yeah.
Moving forward in fantasy football.
So is Justin Jefferson.
So is Justin Jefferson.
And he's young.
You get two of them, and you could possibly end up getting a third with your pick.
Yeah. I guess if you have already decided that it's not happening this year.
I mean, I'm telling you right now, for me, there are some guys that are on a no trade list, and Justin Jefferson is one of them. However, there is always a price. And if you got something that I really want, so he also has James Robinson. So he got Etienne back to pair with James Robinson, which is pretty smart. So I mean, he had a little bit of strategy to it. He is in last place right now. So
yeah. Anyway,
it's funny though. I know we're just kind of going on a tangent on our dynasty, but it's funny in our dynasty league we actually have 7 teams that are 1 and 2.
Yep, and I'm the leader of that pack.
Yep.
I have now scored the most points in the league,
and you're 1 and 2. But hey, so is everybody else. So
yeah, and there are no 3-0 teams either, right?
No, there are. There's 2. There's 2 3-0 teams. Yeah, Kyler.
That's right. Because I'm in 4th.
Yeah, because it's funny because Zach, he named his team the League Punching Bag.
Yeah, and
he's 3-0. That little bitch.
Yeah, the punching bag's not supposed to punch back.
No, golly. Anyways, back to Lamar Jackson. I did want to actually say a little bit about his numbers because he threw for over 400 yards and 4 passing touchdowns, and he rushed for over 100 yards and a rushing touchdown. And that was his 12th 100-yard rushing game.
Mm-hmm.
Dude is a monster.
It's his second one in a row. I want to say he had 100 last week.
You're probably right, because I wouldn't even bet against him to not have 100 ever again, because there's probably a better chance that he will.
It's so hard to stop a running back, a quarterback that can run like a running back. It's so difficult to stop. Why do you think Mike Vick has so much success?
He's big too, so it's like,
yeah,
dude. And then I not just Lamar. We got to give Mark Andrews his props, dude. He is
8 catches, 89 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Best tight end in the league right now. I don't think there's a tight end better than him. Travis Kelce is really good. I just think Mark Andrews is better. I think it's close. Say it. Like, that's my opinion. I like Mark Andrews more. He seems to be open when he's not even open. You know what I mean? Which Kelce can be that way too. Yeah, Kelce can be like that too. Don't get me wrong, but
like, has Gronk ever been open in his life?
No, but that's what I'm saying. Mark Andrews is looking like Gronk. He's looking like the newest Gronk, like more like Gronk than Kelce has, than than Pitts has so far, than who else? Who are what's his name? God dang it.
Kittle.
Kittle. Yeah. Kittle's skinny, man. He's a skinny tight end.
He's a little bit smaller.
Yeah. And that's why he can't stay healthy. He keeps getting hurt. That's a big man's position.
Yeah.
That's why Mark Andrews, dude, he's a baller, man. I like Mark Andrews. I did actually get him in Dynasty, but some people are interested. But he's one of those that are, it's going to take a hefty price to get that.
I'll give you a call. I've got
right,
Kittle. You can have Kittle, and I'll throw in some sweeteners.
We'll talk. Anyways, I say we basically have like one more. I mean, the Bengals bounced back. They look good. They were able to take care of the Jets, no problem. Rams beat the Cardinals. Dude, the Cardinals, they barely were able to beat the Raiders. Great. No, they aren't looking good. Like, it looks like trouble in Arizona, especially with still not getting D-Hop back for a while. It's not good.
Brown had 14 catches.
I mean, I do like Hollywood Brown.
Yeah. 14 catches, 140 yards. It's a pretty good day for a receiver.
Oh, hell of a day for a receiver, especially if you're talking fantasy PPR.
Yeah.
So,
I guess the only other game we haven't really talked about is the Cowboys and Giants, which,
I
mean, I watched the game, obviously, but
it was a football game.
It was a game.
Yeah. No, it was definitely a boring one, especially in the first half. The first half didn't really have anything. What was it, like 6-3 at that halftime? Yeah, 6-3.
It was not great. I mean, like I think I said last week that the Giants might be the worst 0-2 team in the history of the NFL. And
you mean 2-0? But I know what you mean. It's so hard to say 2-0 with Giants in the same sentence.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But no, like the worst 2-0 team ever, I think is what I said last week, or one of at least.
I agree.
And
yeah, I think that is what you said.
I think that bore out because the Cowboys weren't great yesterday.
No.
But they still won the game, and like it never felt like there was even a chance they were going to lose.
So I was actually talking to Zach earlier today, and I told him I was going to say this on the podcast tonight. I think the Cowboys are actually going to have a damn good season. I already told you that I thought they were going to win the division. Now, Philly, I think, is looking like they are probably going to be the division winners. But I think the Cowboys can still make the playoffs. But I'm going to tell you this right now. It ain't going to be pretty. It is not going to be pretty. There's not going to be fireworks. You're not going to be scoring a bunch of points. You're not going to be the number one offense like you were last year. You're not going to be pretty. But that defense and that grit and this grind of a football team is going to go somewhere. Like, they're doing what needs to be done. They have proven it 2 games now. Now, I mean, I still say Cincy is a hell of a football team.
They're still a good team.
Cincy. Now, in New York, they were riding high. They were riding high. So to go into their home,
yeah, they had a lot of confidence coming into the game.
Yeah, and to go in there and take that W with a backup quarterback who is 3-0 now in his career. Cooper Rush is actually looking
He's actually looked not bad. Like he has a command of the offense that I wouldn't have expected from Cooper Rush.
And he's bringing out a lot of Noah Brown, which is kind of a
they have a really good connection.
He's been on the Cowboys for like 5 years, but never really been able to actually do a lot. But scored.
He's got good timing with CeeDee Lamb. At least in the game last night, he had good timing with CeeDee Lamb
in the second half. Now CeeDee Lamb did have that big.
Oh, that was a bad drop.
An ad just started playing in my ear. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, that was a really bad drop because that
really bad.
I mean, possible touchdown. I mean, the defender wasn't too far from him.
He might have gotten there.
He could have gotten there though. It's CeeDee Lamb. You get the ball in his hands, he can make a move and get to the end zone. So that was a bad drop. However, he did end up making up for it with 8 catches, 87 yards, and a touchdown. And it was a hell of a touchdown.
That touchdown catch was amazing.
Yeah, that's the type of stuff that you want from your number one receiver, that to be able to do catches like that. Now we just want you to not drop the ball and make more catches like that.
Yeah.
But that was awesome. Tony Pollard deserve to be the main running back?
Yes.
It's really hard for me.
He has such a burst that Zeke just doesn't have anymore for whatever reason.
I can kind of agree with you there. I do still really like Zeke, and I think he's looked good this season. I do agree he doesn't have the burst. So when he
even looked good last night, he just doesn't look as good as Pollard.
I don't care about your tailgate bowl. Now I'm not going there. No, I like Tony Pollard. Don't get me wrong. My only concern and my worry, which hasn't necessarily proven to be true yet, I was concerned that he looked so good just because of how little we were having to use him. I didn't know if we upped his usage, if he was going to be able to keep that going. Now, right now, he seems to be. So
he has
I like
far.
it. Yeah, he's got the physical attributes. He's shifty. He is built like a running back, and he can make catches. I do really like Tony Pollard. Man, I love Zeke. Look, I got Zeke over here. He's on my wall.
Yeah,
I love Zeke. So I'd be sad to see it go already. But if it's best for the Cowboys, I'm sure even Zeke would be down.
Yeah, I mean, just split their carries. Have Zeke more in for when you need, the tough yards, or where you need, a back for protection to get there for pass pro. Use Pollard when you need a back that's going to be able to catch the ball, or, if you want to try and break a big one.
I wouldn't be opposed to that. Sorry,
just split their time.
Another ad started going off in my ear again.
I guess it's time to get out of here, huh?
I guess so. I honestly have no idea what time we started, and so I have no idea how long we've actually been going. It
was like 7:30, I think. 7:35, somewhere in there.
Okay, that's not too bad then.
Yeah.
No, it was a lot of fun in football this weekend. A lot of adversity, a lot of parity. It's going to be a fun season, man. It's literally any given Sunday at this point.
Yeah.
I don't understand how the Raiders are the one team that hasn't won a game. Or no,
the Texans still haven't
also
won.
Have not won a game, but they tied a game, so technically they're above the Raiders. But man, that is probably the biggest surprise for me so far.
I agree.
The Raiders being 100%. So low.
100%.
So, but it's been a lot of fun. I'm really excited for this season. Again, I'm going to double down on it. Cowboys are making the playoffs, but it ain't going to be pretty. It's going to be that defense. They've got a championship caliber defense.
Yeah.
We just got to have enough offense to get it.
They've looked good so far, for sure. But
so, Trevor Diggs with another pick. Forgot to mention that. I was excited about that.
He did. That was a really good pick too.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Well, you ready to go get a beer?
I am. I'm hungry too.
Yeah, I am too. Let's go get some food, get a beer, and
watch some more sports.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, thanks for listening, everybody, or watching.
Yeah. If you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment. Let us know.
Yeah, subscribe. Yeah, leave some comments. We'll try and get some comments answered in the next episode or something.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
So,
all right. Beard's out.
Beard out.